Yeah, Williams, Philippines. I don't know how well you can see it out there, but there is white, fluffy, wet, sloppy stuff falling out of the sky, and I'm tired of it. Oh, so tired of it. It's starting to fill up out there. Anyway, hello, I'm Williams, Philippines, and oi, is it miserable out there? Ah, I'm trying to get me set up here again. Hang on. Okay. Yes, William from Williams, Philippines. And it is Tuesday, March 4th at about 8:55 in the AM. And it's snowing on me again. I'm tired of the snow. I don't want to poke my toes into wet, cold, white stuff. I want to put my toes into white, warm sand on the beach. Oh, anywho, yeah. Huh. Looks like this thing's a little bit, there we go. I'm learning. Dang machine's educating me. Yeah. Needless to say, I was trying to do this and my phone started working on it. I didn't know my phone could connect and be my camera. Apparently it can. Uh, Learning territory. Great big learning territory, and I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, it is definitely time to be getting to the Philippines. I am definitely wanting to get out of here and get over there. The white fluffy stuff falling out of the sky that's all cold and wet is miserable. I want my toes into some warm sand and bright sunshiny days. These dull, gray, wet, and miserable ones, I'm tired of them. I want to be warm. Yeah. Anyway, as to another thought, pointing in toward the Philippines, I called to activate my card because I got a new one, and oh, Filipino voice. Yep, she's in the Philippines and such. I've talked to several people over there. I'm wondering what's going to happen to a lot of Filipinos when this AI stuff really kicks in 5, 10 years from now. There's a lot of things that are going on with computers that are going to put a lot of people out of business. But then again, there's a lot of people like, I don't like dealing with artificial intelligence. I don't like dealing with voice, machines. I don't want an answering machine taking over anything, taking over my conversation. It's bad enough having to get past the answering machine to get to a person, but I sure don't want them to take away the person. It is definitely something that is worrisome. I mean, I was trying to explain to a girl at work the other day that they have the equipment to literally replace her, and that most likely it wouldn't happen anytime soon. But at the bigger, fancier hotels, it's already happened. And she looked at me like I was crazy. And I told her, well, go look at some of the, high end fancy hotels in Tokyo and in Hong Kong, Paris. And she thought I was crazy.
I told her that a machine can print out the keys and it can spit out a printed out paper for you to sign. And you can slide it back in there and it can read your signature and compare it to the one on your card. Or, yeah, and take your picture and compare it to your ID and the card. So, what is your job anymore? The fact that people still like people. The scary part is that a lot more people are becoming more acceptant of dealing with computers instead of people. And I understand that from both sides because I don't like dealing with computers, but I'm not big on having to deal with people either. So I'm torn on this. And I look to the future and I see that more and more people are going to be out of jobs because how hard is it to run a computer? Um, what, 15, 20 cents a kilowatt? And it can handle how many people at a time? Electricity is a lot cheaper than people. Problem with it is that, oh yeah, people still like people. And when you get looking at it and you realize, uh, a lot more computers, well, how should we say? The Terminator and Skynet. Oh, hang on. We're getting close, ain't we? Because, hey, now people in, you know, people in the U.S. can squeeze a trigger and drop a bomb somewhere else in the world, all because of computers. How long before the computer decides it doesn't need a person? And that's kind of worrisome. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think computers are intelligent. It's just programming, and I know that. But they've got to the point that they are programming computers enough that they can do a lot of things that people can do. And when the numbers get to the point that it adds up that we don't need people, why have people? Now, like I said, I don't think computers are intelligent. This artificial intelligence stuff is, like I said, just programming. But again, how long before they, even with just programming, run to the end conclusion and decide, hey, we don't need them? And that's kind of worrisome. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a lot of changes coming. And it's kind of like when they started making cars. The buggy makers and the horses and the farmers that were using you know, the horses to do things. And they made a motor, an engine. And instead of having horses, they started using oil, carbon. But hey, they just changed from one carbon to another. Hey, think I'm joking? Horse crap and bull crap are both carbon. So is a tree. So are we. So when we changed from horses and buggies to cars, well, there was a transition period, and a lot of people really did worry about their jobs. Because a lot of people went from, raising horses, raising kids that went out and made buggies, and, the people that were moving horse crap and cow crap to turn out fertilizer started showing up for oil-based fertilizers. Yeah. And the horses were replaced by motor blocks, engine blocks. And all those people that were, raising horses and building carriages all went out of the, all disappeared here in America, at least. There's still some of them doing it in a few resort areas that had them. I think they're still doing it up in Baguio and a couple other places in the Philippines where they have horse-drawn carriages, horse-drawn buggies. What happens, what happened was, all those things got cut back and cut down. Now it's just a tourist attraction when it used to be just a way of life. Same thing with the phones and all these, jobs that can be replaced by computers. That's kind of more of a direct one because it's a computer taking over a person's job that is being a person instead of a motor taking over a job that was a horse's, or the horse's job of producing fertilizer. Plop, plop, grow, grow. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things that are going on here. And it's kind of worrisome in a lot of ways, but it's just following the natural pattern. Technology changes, people change. So I was telling my friend that her son, he needs to start learning to type, to code, to program computers. And that, I saw my nephew literally go from, not knowing how to type to learning to type to learning to program. And yeah, now his job can be done from home working on a computer and programming games for computers and for people to play with. And now he also does businesses that he does and makes programs for them too. Because, hey, somebody's got to set up that website some way or another. It's definitely a time of change. And I'm kind of glad to be getting out of it and just going to go and retire. My worry is what's going to happen when a bunch of people over the next 10 years get dumped out of physical jobs. COVID showed how we can do a lot of work from somewhere else. Hey, digital nomads. The Philippines is trying to get a visa for them because there's a lot of them going to be doing this. So, yeah, we have a time of change coming upon us. And I look at it as worrisome, but it's also exciting. All these changes coming about in our lives. It's something that needs to happen, But the transition period is kind of rough on a lot of people. So the people that get hurt the most are the ones with the least skill. Because those that do know how to type and learn to code take over and do more stuff. And this puts a lot of people who are just physical labor out of jobs. And I look at this and I'm thinking, well, they have 3D printing machines that can build houses out of concrete. And and literally build the house out of concrete. How long before construction workers are out of work? And the only ones they need is somebody who can pour the concrete into the back end of the machine after it's been mixed. Oh, they have cement mixers that can do that. Huh. So what happens next? All these folks have to line up at the concrete plant to dump bags. Oh, they got machines that do that too. So yeah, all these machines getting turned over to computers to have computers do work that people do. So what happens to folks that don't know how to program, don't know how to work on computers? I don't know. It's a worrisome time, but it is definitely a time of growth, a time of change. In a lot of ways, I'm glad I'm getting out of this and just going to go fishing. Because don't get me wrong, I think they can build somebody or something that will go fishing, but they're not going to take over my desire to throw a hook. They may figure out how to bait my hook for me, but, well, I'd still rather do it myself. And again, that's because I prefer to deal with me doing things. Don't get me wrong, there's jobs that are going to be there for a while. Hey, we still have horse and buggies working today. And we've had cars for what, 120, 150 years? 100, well, that's 25, so 130 years? So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of changes. And there's a lot of jobs that are going to still remain. I don't think we're going to completely replace mechanics for cars. Because, hey, it can be done, but that's more of an assembly line, not the fixing it later after it's all beat up and wore out and wobbles. Things that wobble ain't real good for computers to work on because they're having to try to take up a lot of data that has to do with positioning something on something that's moving. But hey, they've got computers that can land airplanes on a moving boat and hit the same spot so regular that it knocks a hole into the steel in an area that's basically 2 square meters. And that's just getting better. So what's going to happen? I don't know. Times are changing. Jobs are changing. I highly recommend everybody learn to type fairly fast because a lot of stuff is going to computers. And if you don't know how to operate one or program one, well, what's your job? Working in the field? Well, they've got programs that run tractors and they draw a straight line better than you can. So what's next? I don't know. Things are changing. Part of me is like, I remember my great grandmother going from before there were airplanes, before there were cars, to seeing somebody land on the moon. Yeah. I really wonder about children born now. What are they going to see? What work are they going to be doing? It's interesting. Anyway, I don't know about you, but it seems like a very worrisome time and a very exciting time. Because, hey, things are changing. Is it for the better? I hope so, but I'm not for sure. Anyway, I'm Williams Philippines. If you like this, please like, comment, subscribe, think about it, and put a note down there. Let me hear from you. Anyway, if you want to come along for the ride, yay. If not, yay, it's your choice. Williams Philippines, foods, friend, family, and more foods. And hey, I'm Fish. Later blessings, bye-bye.